Okay, that's all done. So the thing to do now is going to be to EVA. So I'm going to grab... Who am I going to grab? Is SAS for stability over here? I'm going to grab someone from the front. Say our scientist, Katie Cat. Okay, what's with this wobble here? Tell you what, let's just time warp a second, because that's a good way to kill rotation. Katie Cat. This is still wobbling. Turn off the SAS, because you're not doing it right. Just do a little time warp, stop the time warp. Okay. We're going to EVA you. Oh, we need a scientist, because we actually have to explicitly reset the experiments, too. On land, it's always the pilots who get the attention from EVAing, or from landing first. But here we go. We actually should give everyone an EVA at some point to get XP and badges and all those things. So, Mr. Goo, we couldn't transmit the data. So we're going to take it, which gives us the whole data, which is nice. And because we have a scientist, we can reset this mystery goo container, which is really what we're looking for. Some of these need to be reset, others don't. Here, the science bay, we take it and then reset it. And that's it. And nothing else needs to be manually reset, but some of them don't transmit first 100%. So what's important is that we take it so that we can just go and collect some more data afterwards. Got those ladders, and I'm not using them. But that's okay. At least there's no solar panels around here for me to accidentally whack into. Telescope, oh, telescope transmits for 100, so there's nothing for us to collect there. The magnetometer collects for 100, so there won't be anything for us to collect there either. We've got something that's still closed over here. Oh, soil moisture sensor. We have to be in lower orbit for that to work. The telescope, no, this is the Gorsat, which I don't remember if it transferred or not. Let's get a little closer. It did transmit for 100, so that's nice. And here we have the temperature and pressure. Neither one of which, for whatever reason, transmits for 100. So we'll take, and we'll take. There's nothing for us to restore, though. It's infinitely reusable. If it were on a satellite, it'd be fine. We could transmit, only getting half the science every time, but it's okay. So we'll grab here. Katie Cat can get back inside. Excellent. Let me make a proper save here. Out of paranoia. We've had enough things break and crash and whatever. You're telling me I can EVA again. Did I never do an EVA report? I never actually did the EVA report. Boom! You record your observations about the situation. I really do need to reinstall that mod where we get like more detailed information. I mean, we've got to have something more colorful than this, right? So we're going to keep this. Then we're going to board, and we can transmit that. Now, we don't have to, because we can redo this over and over, but I do like to transmit the EVA report. Oh, that's the other thing I have to do. So we can crew report more than once. I have to go and take all the data and then store it back in a proper container. Otherwise, you can't crew report more than once, which is kind of a little annoying. Okay, so what I was going to say is I like to right-click on this, review all the stored data, find the EVA one, and transmit it. That way, if something horrible happens, at least we still have that. The rest we're just going to keep because it doesn't transmit for full. So we're hoping to return those. I mean, if we know we're doomed, then we'll transmit everything, even if we're not getting the full amount. But there's no cost to transmitting the EVA stuff. Okay. So, presumably I'm good with this. We could get a little closer, which will give us a little bit more time in low orbit and maybe give us some more info. And actually, yeah, our Eve escape is not the ideal spot. So, two things. One, I'm going to do a little bit of a burn here. In fact, I'll probably do a... Can I not set a maneuver here? Are you doing that thing? There it is. I'm going to do a anti-radial burn, which I think would be the easiest way to lower my periapsis at this point. I have to be very cost efficient. Let's get the maneuver node editor out here. 0.1. I mean, I can't go below 90 because then I'll skim the atmosphere, which would be very bad. I wonder if there's any chance that burning a little retrograde might be better. No, it's not. It's not making the same difference. Anti-radial is definitely the way to go. And, again, we're going to be doing a better job of leaving in exactly the opposite direction, which is going to be... Wait, that's the wrong direction. We don't want to leave that way. That's going to drop our orbit. I came in here the wrong way. I was supposed to come in on this side to get a boost. Shit. Okay, well, we can still fix this. Hello, maneuver? Yeah, I came in on the wrong side to get the max boost. No, not on the yellow line, on the purple line, on the blue line. Come on. He was there for a second. I want to maneuver on this line, please. God damn it. Blue line, not the yellow. These are yellow maneuvers, which would be in multiple days. Okay. Shows up for a second, then goes away. There. Add maneuver here. Then, let's see if I can drag this closer. No, then it goes to the other one. Fuck it, I can just eyeball it. Fuck it, we'll do it live. Let me sort of pre-plan a maneuver here just to get a sense of things. But my idea is to do that. And yeah, then the math goes off a little bit. But there we go. Which I think will be more cost efficient. And we could loop around, but then we'd be exiting the wrong way. Here, we're using a lot of delta V, although it'll be less when we get there, to flip an orbit from one side to another. So basically anti-radial from here. At some point it'll cross over, at which point technically we'll be needing to burn radial. But if we do it from here, it'll be a lot less intensive. So I do want to have my orbit on the other side, because I want to leave going to the left, which is going to be effectively a speed boost. Leaving to the right is a slow down. So from here, burn anti-radial, which is going to move our orbit leftwards, and at some point radial and anti-radial will sort of flip, but we'll keep burning in that direction. Use mech jab to add the maneuver. Well, I mean, I could use the maneuver node editor and you can set the time, but it's still annoying to set it up. Creating the node, I guess I could just create the node with something here, but this is going to be fine. We'll just do it live. It's fine. There we go. So our parry is going to flip here at some point. Whoa. And now I actually want to be burning radial. Technically, it's exactly the same direction as before. It was anti-radial, it's now radial just because I'm on the other side of the orbit. So now we're just going to push our parry so that it's above 90, so we don't die. There we go. So then the next thing to do will be to potentially change my maneuver here at the parry. I mean, I could burn more to adjust it here. What would actually be optimal? I mean, what would I do here? Is like effectively burn some more prograde. Actually, no, that would be pretty good because I'd be really burning prograde in the correct direction. To slingshot it. Whoa, we'd actually be slingshotting it too much. Too much of a boost. Nice. So use the gravity here to do a maneuver to boost me higher, but not use all the fuel, and then we can do some adjustments. But I'll be closer to Kerbal. This might not literally be the sweet spot for the best return. But yeah, when we hit the parry, we'll burn prograde to try to give us a bit of a kick. But even if we do this, we're going to end up... So right now, we're basically in this yellow orbit, more or less. And right now, just this maneuver is going to drop me into the purple orbit. So I'm going to be higher already and therefore closer to Kerbal, which is good. Okay, but for now, the important thing is we're just going to barely avoid skimming the surface of Eve, and we're going to science the hell out of things. Okay, power is stable. That's all great. Do a quick save. And really, there's nothing to do but to time warp until we enter within 400 kilometers. Then we'll get low orbit science. And then there's going to be a lot of different biomes as well. Actually, rather than do it this way, let's do one big warp here, 2 days away. Get us a lot closer. Yeah, not everything needs to be calculated. If you guys watch my Let's Play, the first time we go and do the moon flyby, we had no patch conics, no ability to do maneuver nodes at all. We literally just sort of eyeballed it. Because you can. You get an orbit around Kerbin, then you just wait until the moon rises, and then you burn prograde until your orbit basically is at the distance that it would sort of meet the orbit of the moon. If you don't have patch conics, it won't tell you that you'll get an encounter, but you probably will. And then you just keep sort of finessing and fine-tuning and everything is fine. So once we get within 400 kilometers, we'll be able to science some more. We got a crash. Now, it probably didn't help that I was trying to switch to the camera view there at the same time as I was just changing the time warp, or coming out of the time warp, one or the other. I should have let one happen and then switched over. But this is why, always quick save before you time warp. And also always quick save before you switch ships. So what was going on there is I think the game was trying to load the graphics for Eve because I was getting close enough while also trying to do a bunch of other stuff. So there we go. Man, this live stream honestly is going a little bit longer than I expected. I just got back from California. I just did it was basically 38 hours trip that I just did to get 1 hour of video footage of a game, which you'll see what that was next week. But I am absolutely exhausted. I don't sleep on planes, so I basically spent all that time awake, except for I was in a hotel. I think I got about 4 hours of sleep in a hotel for a bit of that, but mostly it was all airplane time for 1 hour video footage of a game, and then no other sleep. So I'm feeling completely beat up today, and my plan was to try to keep this a little shorter, like a 3-hour stream in total. We've already gone 3 hours here. 3 hours is a long time to stream, especially talking like this. Most people who stream for longer are the people that don't really talk much, which is fine. I enjoy watching, especially like, Hearthstone videos and stuff. Watching some Trump and some Crip and all those guys. And those two are some of the most talkative ones. Hey, Zarelius, thank you very much for the resub. Can understand that sleeping on planes never ends well, yeah. I didn't do any Quilly Team videos on the plane. They are already ready to go, though. They were pre-recorded ahead of time, so we're still good. As mentioned, next weekend is the next Let 'Em Dare. And again, if you've never watched, you really should. It's going to be awesome. And this is my 13th Let 'Em Dare in a row. I have not missed one in 13 times. This will be the 13th. There was one Let 'Em Dare that happened while I was in Germany. And I made a game on the plane ride back across the Atlantic. During the 6 or 7 hours I was on the plane there. Well, you can't do it during takeoff and landing and that. But otherwise, so maybe about 6 hours worth of programming in my seat on the plane, I made a game for Let 'Em Dare. And then when I landed in Toronto at Pearson, they have Wi-Fi there, and I was able to upload my game within like a few hours of the deadline. So there's no excuse. If you're a programmer, you should do something for Let 'Em Dare. Even just a couple of, take a couple of hours, make, Pong, just make something. It'll feel good. All right, I want to finish this flight though, and then we're gonna go and do some multiplayer TF2. So start game, resume saved of default. Team Liquid Media will be his 4th time. Excellent. We haven't killed any Kerbals yet. Certainly our initial mission planning, which, ideally would have been to hit, Moho, Eve, and Gilly, is not going to happen. And that's because I didn't look up the Delta V charts ahead of time. Normally that's what you do. There's quite clear calculations, clear numbers in terms of Delta V that you need to get to orbit, escape Kerbin's orbit, do the transfer, the ideal transfer from one planet to the other, and so on and so forth. So you really know what your total Delta V numbers are going into a mission. So you can look at the chart, figure out what all the numbers are, get a target there. You need a margin for error, but also at the same time, you might be able to use certain slingshot maneuvers to reduce some of those requirements in some fashion. But we didn't do that. We just sort of like built the spaceship and went. Because this wasn't the plan. But we are going to do an Eve flyby, which isn't bad for, back of the napkin kind of calculations. Okay, so let's go. We're going to warp a little closer. I'm going to let the warp finish in this mode before I switch back. Often these crashes are caused by running out of memory, which happens the more and more mods you have, especially visual mods. And that's one of the things the next version with the 64-bit version is going to help. Now, technically you can run a 64-bit version of Kerbal in a sense. It's not deployed by this, but it is just made in Unity. So if you have Unity, you can basically copy the 64-bit executable and put it in your Kerbal directory, and then it will run in 64-bit mode, but then some mods don't work, the way you might expect and different stuff like that. So we are at we're at 3 million meters right now, right? 3,000 kilometers. We need to be at 400 kilometers. So we'll just manually time warp it. What a lovely planet. I mean, odd and purple, but still lovely. Scatterer makes it look a little nicer too. We did do one mission last campaign where we landed on Eve. With, I think, just a probe, not even a rover, just a probe. So as soon as this crosses 400, we should get spammed to hell and back with science alert. And we will have to act a little faster there because as we cross different biomes, we can get more science. So we really want to do the whole cycle as much as possible before that. How are we doing here? We have a little room for data, but not a whole bunch. I'm going to go ahead and transmit what science I do have, just to say. And, yeah. Oh, I have a smartass had actually like a direction tilted there, which you're not going to need. Just going to slowly time warp here. Going to let the data finish. There we go. We're in meter mode. Excellent. We just got 54 science for free just by working this lab. Well, by free. We had to lug this stupid thing into space and bring some extra scientists to work it and everything like that. That was a lot of weight. This probably quadrupled the weight of this, especially when you consider the extra supplies that I needed. Speaking of supplies, these things are probably, there we go, that is empty, and empty of supplies. And this one here is starting to get a little bit lower, but these were a lot smaller. But it's good. I want these to be empty before we jettison the side tanks. It's the thing I want to make sure. So I think that actually might happen here as we leave Eve. And ideally at the Perry, we'd like to do a bit of a prograde burn. I think it's going to be good for us. Okay, we're just closing in on 400 now. 400 kilometers should be there, right? Yeah. And as soon as we do, we should be considered to be in low orbit. And there we go, science. Okay, run all the science. Click, 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 and click. And there's only 100 more data that can fit in there. So these, you can see this is like 100 data, so it's not really worth doing. So we will transmit you for full. We will keep you. We will keep you. We will transmit you for full. Transmit you for full. Transmit you for full. We will keep you. We will keep you. And you, I mean, it doesn't matter with the data or not, it's fine. As long as this is basically fully working, I'm okay. Whoa! Weird angle change there. Alrighty. And let's go ahead and EVA with Kitty Cat again. We're going to do her EVA report, 56 science. And again, no cool description. I really should have installed that mod. I'm going to take all the data, then store all the data. It's going to tell me about the EVA report again, but we have already done it. I'm going to go ahead and detach, turn this on, and we'll go and reset all these experiments so we can do them as we hover over the next biome. We're going to take and restore. We're going to take and restore, and then we still have some that we have to take, but we don't have to restore. You and you can transmit for full, so we've already done that. I believe the soil moisture also transmits for full, so I don't think we have to pick it up. If I can even click on it. Come on. Yep. There's nothing to take. We already transmitted it. The Gorsat, we transmitted that. Or that's the, yeah, Gorsat, the irradiance. But here we go. We've got the temperature and pressure. And we need to take that data, take the next one. We don't have to reset it, but otherwise we're okay. And, right, the mystery and everything has been reset. Perfect. Grab and board. Oh, there we go. Transmit. 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 Things might have still been queued. We might actually just be repeating one we've already done, but that's okay. Okay. Still expecting another biome to hit so that we can science again, but I don't know. Need goggles. Oh, you're right. There we go. Safety first. Get your forehead protected. The spinny thing here, the windmill, this is the soil moisture scanner. It's part of the D-Magic mod, as is the magnetometer, the Gorsat, the solar particle collector, and at least one more, I don't remember. So the D-Magic mod adds a bunch of new science experiments and tweaks some of the balance again. So you don't... I think a lot of the experiments might give you slightly less science than the base version, but you have more experiments to run. On the other hand, it can be quite difficult to bring all the experiments with you all the time. It also adds some experiments that are specifically there for asteroids, which is a lot of fun. Yeah, 11,000 electric charge. Yeah, that's because two reasons. I mean, this holds 150. This holds 1,000. We got a 1K battery. And this holds 10,000. This module here. It uses a lot of power. It uses a crap ton of power. I probably didn't need to install any extra batteries, honestly. But just did it out of paranoia. Plus, hey, maybe one of the things will break. We've already had Dang It break two things for us. It broke, what it broke? The battery broke. Not that it was that important, but, you know, backup batteries are good. Also, one of our supply tanks was leaking at one point, which is very scary. Telescope, go. Yeah, why can't I repeat the others? Maybe some of them are just, like, literally once per orbit. I don't know. Gonna keep that. We're gonna board. Oh, the other thing I can do... Is that the one I just did? Yeah, there we go. We can get another biome, transmit, EVA, EVA, grab, board, transmit. Yeah, spaceship does look pretty cool. A little bit weird with all the experiments sticking out, but otherwise I'm really happy with it. Time to parry is closing in. So if we are going to do a prograde burn, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a full prograde burn with these tanks here and call that good enough. And then that way I don't have to worry about, you know, hiding the solar panels in time and all those things. Prograde here is just, it should help slingshot us a little bit better for the next stage. Put us a little bit higher in between Eve and Kerbal. And then what we'll do is we'll escape Eve and then plan a home and transfer there. Probably we could save some time / delta V. Well, certainly time if I did a better job here, but this will just have to be good enough. Can transmit that. Keep. I think I have another EVA. Transmit that. Keep. And by keeping all this stuff too, we can transmit that. We'll be able to store some more data in here later on when it starts to get a little bit lower. But still only has room for an extra 10. Don't forget to transfer the Mars bars. We've already done it. These tanks are all empty. They've just got some mulch, but our mulch storage here should be completely full. So we're okay. Anyway, we are basically there. So, oh yeah, we're facing the right way. Good. So we're just going to burn there. Could have started the burn a little sooner, actually, to be properly at the periapsis. Oops. But that's all right. Telescope. We're going to transmit. We kill the engine. EVA, EVA, grab, board. You don't want to EVA while the engines are burning. Unless you can hold on really tight. Really tight. Six seconds left here. And that is the end of those tanks. So I'm going to go ahead and kill that. That's going to be good enough. I'm going to tuck in my solar panels. Did I not actually do that other one? Power's going to be dropping really fast now. It's like, ooh, 11,000. Look how fast it's dropping. It's 8 power per second that we're using up. Both the greenhouse and the science lab. Very demanding. So, I'm just going to quick save before I separate here. There we go. Just give us a little bit of space over here as well. Goodbye, boosters. You were very helpful. Okay, and then we're going to re-extend these. Because, you know, running out of power is not what we're looking for. This life support mod is more forgiving than TAC. But conceivably, can run out of power. We do have a little extra solar panels at the side, which helps too. If you do run out of supplies in this mod, it doesn't insta-kill your Kerbals, they just go into hibernation. But this is not a place I want to run a rescue mission from. So... you know what? Hold on. I do have to do more burn. Because, yeah, I'm not leaving the way that I want. And a little radial. Because it's really not good. It's actually dropping orbit right now, which is not what we're looking for. There we go. This will help raise it. I don't know if that's the most efficient place to do it from. But I don't want to drop into a lower orbit. Oh, wait, hold on. No, I wasn't dropping into a lower orbit. I'm being silly. We're going to end up over here. A little bit lower here, but higher here. So we're fine. Okay. I mean, probably I could save some delta V doing some stuff here, but I don't really know for sure. So we're just going to wait until we're out here. And again, we do have pretty good supplies. Push comes to shove, and we've done this before, is we draw straws and throw a couple of Kerbals out the hatch. We have over a year and a half left of supplies. So as long as our delta V can get us anywhere remotely close to an encounter with Kerbin, we should be okay. So let's cross our fingers with that. Anyway, let's fast forward. We might pass another biome here. Once we cross 400, we know there's not going to be any more low biomes, though. EVA. Grab it. Board again. Oh, everyone should do an EVA as well. I said that. Right? Michael. EVA. Board. Doing a lot of changes here. Let's get Malkuth, EVA. Board. So both you guys are going to do it in low orbit of... actually, technically in an escape velocity at that, which is a whole other thing. And board. And Dragonwell, feel EVA as well. There we are. Everyone's done a little bit of EVA in low orbit of Eve. That's got to be worth something. I don't think low and high has any difference or anything like that. Technically, we're in an escape velocity, but I think that's fine, too. Looks pretty. Oh, just clipped the biome there for a second. Then it's gone. Whoa! I think as we switch into high orbit here, the camera decided to reorient itself. I think instead of being relative to Eve, we're now relative to the sun, because we're in escape velocity. Something like that. I'm not sure. We're crossing to the 400. I don't think there's going to be more experiments here. And that's okay. No. All right. So I'm going to review my stored data again. Oh, you know, did I remember to grab all the crew reports? I bet you I didn't take store. I bet you we could have gotten an extra crew report out of there somewhere. I just forget that. But what I'm going to do is review the data from here because we can transmit some EVA stuff. Keep. Just keep for now. There was more EVA data. Maybe not. Oh, there's one. Okay. Now, I do have a lot of science waiting for me at home already, which is good. I mean, theoretically, you know, we could unlock something, but I don't think that would help us here at all. I don't think we've completed any missions. Do a generic survey of the moon near the rings. No. Plant flag on Minimus. Yeah, we'll want to do another one of those soon. The grand tour of all the moons of the outer planets would definitely be a challenging contract. It might be fun to do. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to wait until we escape here. Again, there's probably a more optimal thing, but I don't want to sort of blindly do some changes here, not knowing what the result will be. At least we are going radial here relative to the sun. A little bit backwards, but overall we're being boosted into a higher orbit, which is what we want. Higher orbit means closer to Kerbin. We're going to try to go home. Then we still have to play some TF2. Cancel that, and yeah, you can cross this at times 50. It doesn't tend to mess up the physics too much. Just give it a chance to settle. Alright, we seem to be okay. Alright, so here's the problem. Kerbin is over here. It's behind us. We're in a lower orbit, which means we're going faster than Kerbin. So what we have to do is basically wait a whole loop around here. Now that's going to be less than a year, because a year is shorter because we're closer in. But we're going to have to catch up. Actually, I say less than a year, right? Less than a year for us to complete a full loop. But in the meantime, where's this going to be? Out of curiosity, if we were to burn, say, at our periapsis, which is in a half a year, and we're to just raise it, and then maybe we can wiggle this around. I mean, we could eventually get there, but let's see if I set Kerbin as my target. Oh, I guess I didn't have it at the target, so I wasn't even getting the little markers to show how close we are. If we create a node over here, what's that look like? That's a node in 372 days, only needs 660 delta V. Which is pretty nice.